the channel, everybody. We are on about a 4.5 hour journey to go pick up something that I've been looking for a while. Not quite as old as I've always wanted, but pretty close. Looking at a 75 Sporty. It's got the Iron Head 1000 in it, and it is a kickstart only. Guys making a pretty good deal on this thing. One of those types of deals you really don't want to just pass up. Hopefully this one will turn out much better than the other one did. We'll get into that one later when we get this bike back to the garage, as long as everything works out with it, which I'm hoping. But this is 10-hour round trip. Hope it's for no reason. So we're just about to arrive out here, just outside of Kansas City. Need to make sure that the guy's gonna be okay with videoing this. Otherwise, we'll just get back with you guys after this is over and get it loaded up. So that was ended up being like a 12-hour drive. A very long trip, but the guy did not want to be filmed at all, which is understandable. I respect people like that. So what we have here is a 1975 Sporty 1000 kickstart only. The bike is all original, being 50 years old. The only thing that he's done is put a new tank on because the original tank had a leak, and so he replaced it and put a bigger tank on. Other than that, everything is still original. Kind of neat to find something this old in this kind of condition. Motor still rotates, very nice. It needs a reservoir gasket here. There's no front brakes yet. I need to find a battery for it so we can get it started up. But supposedly it runs and rides right now. We just need to replace all the fluids in it because it's been sitting for a little while. He said the bottom end has about, I think, 3,000 miles on it, and the top end's got 1,000 miles since it was refreshed. He went 30 over and put a new set of rings in it. The only issue that he said is the kickstart maybe getting a little weak. Go in and replace the coils or the springs, replace that in here. The spokes need to be tightened up, which we'll probably just replace those with some different rims anyway. But yeah, I'd like to find a raked tree and get this front wheel out. I would feel very weird and odd to swap all this over to this frame, because I really like the front end on that. I like how this is sitting right now. I'd feel very bad taking everything off this original bike and put it on this thing. The reason for this is this motor, what is supposed to be a 68, it's stamped on the wrong side of the motor, if you know what I mean, as a 1968 1000. But when the case got opened up to check on everything and see how this motor was actually put together, the case is actually a 75. Yeah, explain that one. And the upper end is off of a 72, and it has a mid-80s electric starter on it. So it's a basket case that was put together. That motor will never go on a bike of any kind. Yeah, just one of them things. One of them stories you hear about way back in the day. And You never expect to find one. But here it finally is. So in the next few videos, we'll start getting this thing taken apart, cleaned up, go through it, change all the fluids in it, get all the stuff working on it, and see how it runs. And then go ahead and start taking things apart, sanding it down, putting new paint on it, getting all the paint work done. Definitely these tires, these are, did he say the original, did he say these were the original tires or just the rims?
The rims.
Okay. But yeah, this thing is nice. It's nice and clean. I would have never expect to find a find like this, especially for what he was asking. He wanted 2 bands for this thing. I said, hell yes, sir. Please, thank you. So it has been a few days since I got the bike and got it put in the garage. Got it off the trailer. Kind of giving everything a once over that I can. Wanted to put some gas in it. I got the battery in it. Had to replace a couple of the wires on it that were pretty sketchy and kind of open to some of the metal around it. Got all that sorted out, cleaned up. And the petcock on. Get some choke. Tried to give her a few good kicks, but wasn't quite sounding like I was getting any kind of a spark whatsoever. Pulled one of the plugs out and tried to check for spark. I wasn't seeing anything, so I think I need to pull the cover off of it and maybe clean the points on it and see if that makes a difference. Thing's been sitting up for quite a few years anyway, so I'm pretty sure that the contact on that has corroded out. Not just that, but I want to go through and kind of wanted to clean up some of the other contacts as well. Everything looks pretty crusty. Get this thing sparking, get it fired up and see how she sounds. But here it is. It's a very clean bike. It's been garage kept for, man, it seems like forever. The guy that had this said he owned it for about 25 years. And yeah, he got to where he couldn't kick it anymore. So he finally ended up buying him a Deuce, but man, that dude has got some nice bikes in his garage. Originally, I was looking at finding a bike like this to put everything into here. Because when I got this bike, it ended up being just the motor and a few other various parts that wouldn't even make a third of what I need, and I'd have to find the complete rest of it. So I got back on the internet and was looking around for bikes, something on the cheap side that I could get to use, and I found this thing. Now it's like I just really don't want to tear this bike apart at all. Like, I don't want to destroy it and put over here on this one. It's just in such great condition. If I can just drop it down back here and find some forks that give me a good little stance up front, you know, pushes the front tire out maybe 5 degrees, 10 degrees or something, I'd be fine doing that. I've been looking at Lowbrow Customs about doing a hardtail section on here, or on this one, because this one I really like the way this one is laid out. Like, it sits down, it's where I want it to be, and it's got that stance that I like. But I may end up just doing a hardtail section on here. It's all the right size framing to make that work with their weld-on hardtail. However, this one, it's so cool original like it is. It just needs some paint, some cleaned up, clean it up, polish it, replace a few little parts here and there on it that needs to be taken care of. I think the kicker, the bushing might be wanting to go out in the kicker. It seems a little weak. You get it most of the way down and it just kind of skips on you. So might need to check that. This thing pukes out oil when you kick it over. Now, I do understand that when these things sit for a while, that they'll puke out until you get the bite going, but I can't get the bite going. It just wants to constantly puke. So maybe a stuck checking ball or valve somewhere inside of there. Like I said, just a few little things been sitting up for a while. The lights work. Oh, the lights are working on it. Got the old school blue dot in the center of there. Oh, no rear brake light. Maybe a bad brake switch. Would that keep the fronts from coming on? I don't know. It's gonna be a learning process. The one I have is basically a mid-2000s. I've never messed with any arrowheads. I'm gonna have to learn a lot with this one, but I'm willing. I don't know. I just think it's kind of cool. I like old school bikes. I really don't care for a lot of the newer bikes at all. These little things like this, it just has some character to it. Kind of hard to beat. Here are these two bikes together. Like, I really like how this orange frame sticks out so much further. The down tubes have been stretched forward and it's got a 40-degree rake on it. You know, it just low. I like it. I really want to put this one together, but man, I just can't get over not really wanting to tear this one apart to put on this thing. Numbers are matching, clean title. I can save this one and find another little bike to throw in here of some sort and make this one and finish this one out. Maybe do some kind of a chopper version on this bike here. Hardtail this. Get the frontal up a little bit more. Put some overs on the front. Put some over forks on it. Maybe a big wheel instead. Don't know. Let me know what you guys think. What would y'all do? Would y'all take apart this bike to put on here? Now I know this bike back here has got some good value on it now, being the way that it is. And this is an unknown. Like, I haven't found who the actual manufacturer of this thing is. I just found the numbers hidden in the back here. So I'm gonna try to figure out what kind of frame this actually is. But it is made for an iron head. All the mount points are the same. The wrist struts on the bike are the same. The seat point, everything matches in. So whatever this is, it was made for an iron head off of a Sporty. I don't know, maybe I'll get a wild hair to go ahead and put this bike together, because this is the kind of style I've been wanting to put together, is something like this. Old school motor, old school bike, laid out, stretched out. Just cool. What would you do? I mean, just let me hear what you think. Yeah, next couple of videos, we're getting this thing fired up, and if I get it fired up, then I'm gonna start Going through, getting it all cleaned up, get it prepped for paint. Try to find some trees that have a longer angle on them. And then, yeah, we'll get this thing all finished up. Thanks for watching. Check you later.